Today on Singles Court, Andrew and Tucker have been squabbling since Dwight entered the scene.
Dwight is like a dog. He marks his territory all over the place. I do not live there.
He's in your house?
But now they have to learn to share and share a Dwight.
You are just jealous because you haven't had a peace in I don't know how long.
And Lauren's pranks are tanking with Jody.
I get on the plane, I'm served a lactose-free vegan Buddhist meal, which I didn't order. It's not funny.
She wants the Joker to stop with the wild cards.
I think there's something seriously wrong with him.
He wants her to stop being an old maid.
You should lighten up.
He thinks I changed. He's like, explain to her.
Hi, I'm Michael Day. Welcome to Singles Court, the #1 show on the Singles Broadcast Network and the place where people come to find help with their relationship problems. And here's the lady who listens to them, nationally syndicated relationship expert Angela Segal.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
I
Look at
didn't
me, I'm
ask you
jumping
how-
the gun here. I'm fine. How are you today? Hi.
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 I am fine. But you know, I have to tell you, I have a dilemma. I'm doing the hair thing, and I'm trying to decide braids, ponytail, my hair, someone else's hair. What's your vote?
Big fro.
I'll try it.
That's my answer for everything, though. I'm warning you. Okay, that's why I am not sitting there. Okay? But I have two people who need your wisdom today. In the studio, we have Andrew and Tucker. Andrew is a freelance production assistant, and Tucker is a fitness instructor. The two of them are roommates and have been so for several years. But the problem arose when Tucker's boyfriend, Dwight, has been hanging around the place a lot. I'll let Andrew tell you more about it because he's the one with the beef, but I call this the case of muscling in on my space.
Well, Andrew, you seem to have a problem with, I guess, a third party in the apartment.
Well, I don't have a problem with a third party. I think it's just the situation that that comes along with it. It's the circumstances that's involved.
Okay,
basically.
which would be?
Well, which is basically is just that he has a boyfriend. 6 months ago, he brought in a new boyfriend. Fine, that's not a problem.
New as in different from what he had before, new as in different from you and him.
Well, he's over all the time. And to cut to the chase, I feel like I don't even live there anymore. I feel like there's a third party there that's living there and is not paying the rent. You know,
give me an example. Like, how often
No, wait a second. I pay for half the rent, okay? And then about 6 months ago, yes, I started dating Dwight. Okay, and me and Dwight really like each other. And Dwight's apartment's very small. So we come over to our place, okay, because Andrew and my apartment's a little bit bigger, and there's a big screen TV and, you know, stuff to do there, right?
Thank you for consulting me about
But I pay half the rent, okay? So I can do whatever I want with it.
As roommates, but you're only roommates, right? Both of you are only roommates. You're not in a relationship. Yeah. Okay, so your responsibility is for half the rent, which to me would mean you get half the apartment.
That's right.
So is Dwight only in half the apartment, or is Dwight spread out?
No,
spread out.
When we moved in together, I didn't sign no contract saying that I couldn't have my boyfriend over.
No, but
it's just being realistic. It's being realistic to the fact that, you know what? Be respectful, okay? Because, for example,
give me an example.
Respectful. Excuse me. I gave him extra money last month and in the month before that because Andrew and I were eating a lot of the food. We were dining in quite a bit. Okay? And Andrew also gets this like high and mighty thing. First of all, he complains to me about how Dwight's got all this stuff all over the place, and there's a sink in the couch now, and there's chips everywhere. Dwight has offered.
Those are legitimate. Sink in the couch, chips everywhere.
Dwight has offered to clean up, do dishes.
Dwight
He's offered to do.
And
no, honey, no, honey, don't worry about it.
He is a bodybuilder.
You're so hypocritical.
He's a bodybuilder, pretty much.
So.
And what he does is he works out there. He lives there. All right. How do you like it if you wake up in the morning?
He doesn't live there. He's there maybe 3 or 4 times a week. Give me a break.
Look, Tucker. Why is his stuff always at the house? If he doesn't live in his own apartment, why would you bring all your junk over to yours?
You see, that's what I tell him because every time. No. You got to understand.
I'm trying to get an answer. You all tried this, it didn't work. That's why you're here.
First of all, okay, he doesn't have a lot of his stuff over here.
What does he have over there?
He's got a few barbells. He's got a couple of articles of clothing, maybe some shoes, and that's it.
100-pound barbells? Those are
not
big.
even that
my
much.
toe on
I
every
swear to
morning.
God, it's only about 75 pounds. And there's 2 barbells, and then there's 1 preacher bar. You know the preacher bar?
Yeah, I know.
And then that's it.
I feel like
Why can't he put those in his house?
Okay, well, what had happened was actually a few weeks ago, we went to go work out, okay? And he stopped by the nutrition store. He picked up a few weights, but we came back to my place first, and we ate before we went to work out.
And?
Well, we brought the stuff up here, and we put it in the thing because, I mean...
But why can't he take his stuff to his own house? That's
If that's the big problem, then that's fine. He will.
Okay, then he should. So
much,
now, next problem.
Well, but pretty much the whole thing is like this. Dwight is like a dog. He marks his territory all over the place. I do not live there.
If he's in your house?
He's not.
Excuse me?
In the apartment.
Figure of speech. He's like a cockroach. He pretty much he just will not go away.
Let's hear the jealousy talking. He's just jealous because over the last 2 years, he has not had a man, and he is just outright jealous that you have seen me with Dwight, who is just gorgeous, and you know you've had eyes for him. Don't even tell me.
It's the fact that
This
is the fact of respect. Okay, I don't mind if he bring his partner to my place, but the whole problem is the fact that, you know what, on the lease, Dwight's name is not on the lease.
Wait, you know what? This is really petty. It's really petty. You better come up with some better things here, because I'm thinking just move your stuff out. You know, Dwight doesn't live there. You said you don't care. He can take his stuff out of the house. So what is the real issue here?
Well, my issue is just the fact that he eats off my foods, and number 2, he breaks my dishes. I don't want him to break his dishes.
Okay,
He's such a strong person.
You are just jealous because you haven't had a peace in I don't know how long. You're dried up and shriveled up, and you can't get no man. And that is the basis of this whole complaint. That's why you brought me here today.
Well, that just goes how much to show you.
Why does he think you're so jealous?
Jealous? He thinks I'm jealous because I haven't had a boyfriend or I haven't had anything.
You haven't.
God, not according to Dwight.
What do you mean not according to Dwight?
Excuse me? Why don't you go on with that? Expand, please.
Look, it's Christmas, last Christmas. Look, last Christmas you went away and Dwight came over, invited himself in, and
it was a Dwight Christmas.
It's we had a little bit too many sips to drink, and things happened. I woke up.
Okay, that's
beside his bed.
That's enough.
You woke up where? Where'd you wake up?
In the bed. Okay, look. Ever since that's happened, he's been calling me.
You think
ever
that's
since.
funny? I mean, I thought it was funny, but I'm not in a relationship. I mean, how can you think that's funny?
Dwight told me about that months ago, girlfriend. So you can drop this whole I'm ashamed, I'm guilty act. And you want to know something else? He's also told me that since then you have called him over a couple of times, which he has turned you down. So don't tell me this, I'm feel guilty.
I have a question for you, because obviously this wasn't news to you. You knew they had
I knew a long time ago.
They had a tryst. Now you're saying that Dwight told you that he's the one that was initiated by him.
He initiated everything. Andrew came on to him that night.
Initiated. Okay, but you know it doesn't really matter because they both did it, right? You understand that?
Yeah, and he told me everything about it.
And you don't have a problem with that.
But I can't even.
He was totally honest with me. He told me that it didn't mean nothing to him, that the sex was totally mechanical, and that he was drunk. And the only thing he remembers, the only thing he remembers is that he was hungover in the morning, and that's about it. And that he has been dogging him to get back into bed,
back to reality.
And Dwight won't have nothing to do with it.
So
your boyfriend.
You have a problem with the fact that he slept with your roommate?
Obviously not.
I had a problem with that, but me and Dwight have figured it out.
And you have
We
a
worked it
problem
out.
with he's supposed to be your friend and that he slept with your boyfriend?
He's not my friend. If he was my friend, he wouldn't have started this whole thing. He wouldn't have had me here.
Okay, I'll be back with my resolution. I'll be back.
What do you bring me here? You have a lot of nerve to bring me over.
This is so petty, it almost doesn't deserve a resolution. But since you came here, let me start with you, Andrew. A friend who betrays another friend, even in a weak moment, is still responsible for their behavior. I don't need to tell you were wrong, you were. You're still responsible for that behavior and that decision that you made. You chose not to tell Tucker about your romp with Dwight, and I hope it was due to embarrassment. I hope that was the reason. Tucker, you have to respect that shared space is exactly that, shared space. It's shared in both square footage and also in air, which means that you can't just decide because you pay half the rent, you can do whatever you want to. If you look at Dwight and what you've told me about Dwight needs to stay at his own place. You've got a place, let him stay there. That would end a lot of the confusion And the fact that it is shared space, you'd have your space and he'd have his. You know, you need to examine Dwight and his motives. You really do. Because you think it's cute, but the fact of the matter is that he's not only slept with your roommate, but he turned around and told you that it was just mechanical. Newsflash, if he thinks that was mechanical, what do you think he thinks of you? You know, disputes between friends usually end up in a dead-end situation, and that happens when the communication stops. It's deadly to a friendship. And you all have to look at the fact that you've been friends for a long time, and you let Dwight come between you, and the reason he was able to come between you is because you were no longer communicating and you were just arguing. And you have to realize that you make the decision, Tucker, whether it's better to have a man that builds his body or a friend that's willing to build your friendship. Choice is yours, and that's the final word.
Next on Singles Court. Lauren's pranks are tanking with Jody.
I get on the plane, I'm served a lactose-free vegan Buddhist meal, which I didn't order.
She wants the Joker to stop with the wild card.
I think there's something seriously wrong with him.
He wants her to stop being an old maid.
She's just so stern.
Trying to do well in her job.
Welcome back to Singles Court with nationally syndicated relationship expert Angela Segal.
But I tell you, it's a good thing they don't arrest people for petty ideas and petty stories.
Those two would have taken the cake on that one.
They'd be in jail right now.
I got to learn how to speak. Okay, I'll give it a try. Here in the studio now we have Jody, who is a manager at a sales and marketing firm, and Lauren, who works for an appliance company. The two have been living together for 3 years, which I think is a single court record. And it took them this long to find a problem in their relationship. Well, the problem is that Jody enjoys a man with a sense of humor, but she thinks Lauren is taking it way too far. So I call this the case of the impractical joker, or making whoopee cushions.
Okay. He didn't do that to you, did he?
Well, close.
What's the problem?
Well, it's been going on for a while now, just really since I got my promotion. He used to be a funny guy. It's what attracted me to him in the first place. But you know what?
He's still a funny guy.
No, he's out of control. It's gotten vicious. It's humiliating. Last week, I had a business trip. It's the first time I've been asked to go on a business trip to Tampa, a sales convention. Okay, I get on the plane. I'm served a lactose-free vegan Buddhist meal, which I didn't order. Not funny. I'm on the plane with my boss and my colleagues. I get off the plane and there's an air steward with a wheelchair to wheel me through the airport, okay? It's so embarrassing.
Was funny. You've had, look, do you understand what it took for me to do that? I posed as her assistant. I phoned up the airport.
I don't think it's very funny.
It's not funny.
It was
it's
funny. Come on.
Here's my
coworkers
question.
were laughing.
Here's my question. Since you think it was so funny, how would you be able to see her reaction? You weren't at the airport and you weren't on the airplane, so how would it be so funny? Like, who's going to be laughing?
I just know it would be funny.
Oh, it was funny.
I mean, come on. I worked it out. I talked to the airport people there, and I posed as her assistant, told them that I was going to have them sued if they wouldn't put her in the wheelchair.
You're killing me.
I thought that was hilarious.
I didn't want to go in the wheelchair.
Come on, you have to lighten up a little bit.
That's not funny.
It's too short.
You know what? This is the tip of the iceberg. Okay, last month.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But it's
That was
just
one of my best,
malicious.
actually.
It's getting so cruel. Last month on my birthday, he sent a male stripper to my office, okay? I've just been recently promoted. This is in front of my staff and my new boss, and there's mostly men in my office. The guy comes in dressed like a cop. I think I'm in trouble with the law. Then he starts taking his clothes off. I can't tell you how embarrassing this was.
Yeah, but think about how
humiliating.
Yeah, but I mean, there are a lot of women out there who love their boyfriends and get them a strip. I think I'm pretty understanding.
How demented is that?
But would your
girlfriend? It's not demented. It was funny.
Know women.
It's the middle of work. It's funny.
He doesn't know
you made
women.
me lose
Thinks
it.
that is funny.
Listen. Would your girlfriend think it was funny? That's the question. Not what other people think. Does your girlfriend think it's funny?
She used to have a great sense of humor. I don't know what happened.
but
I mean, you
little
laugh at
things.
stuff like that. You know, you would have thought not too long ago.
People have a good sense of humor. If they go to a comedy club and they're not funny there, they still have a sense of humor. It's just not funny. You're not funny. That's the problem.
I think that.
He used to be funny, otherwise I wouldn't still be here, frankly. He used to do little funny jokes like setting the clocks differently, This is just, okay, the month before we had a dinner party. We had a dinner party a month before, okay, my business trip. He switched the salt and the sugar containers around, ruined my entire meal.
Old one. Come on.
You ever try her cooking?
Okay, you know what? I'm not a great cook.
No, I mean, come
it's
on.
True.
The sugar
I
thing.
worked so hard. Lauren, I worked so hard to make that food. My boss is
lighten up.
Lighten up.
Just
Look how
lighten
cruel
up.
he is. I think there's
Lauren.
something seriously wrong with him.
Lauren.
Like, I'm not kidding.
No,
I mean,
me
if we're
either.
going to have
It's
a
not funny.
stalker for
You
a
have
boyfriend.
since you got the promotion, you're highfalutin now. It's like.
See, I think to me, that's the issue. Are you? I mean,
It's
it sounds
not
like,
the
it sounds
issue.
like,
I'm just
wait,
doing the same
let
thing
me
I
ask
used
you
to
more
do
money than he
before.
is now.
Let me,
Angela,
well,
you should know
I
this,
would have
too.
guessed that
Yeah.
without you even telling me that. What is the situation that it sounds like every joke that you think is so funny that you do around her has something to do with embarrassing her in front of people she works for.
I'm not
Is
out
that
to
just
embarrass her. I'm just
Well, why do the
trying
jokes have to happen there?
lighten their lives up a little bit. You know.
Well,
They're
okay, why
so uptight.
do the jokes have to happen at work? If you're so funny, why can't you be funny in the yard,
I
funny
do
in the
stuff
bathtub?
I do stuff at home
Exactly.
too. Remember, I put the plastic over the toilet seat.
Hilarious.
That was funny.
That didn't even bother me. Okay, about 2 months ago, he put an ad for a vibrator in a presentation folder. I was giving a presentation in front of the board of directors for a new product. This vibrator. I work for a toy company. Okay, a vibrator comes out on the table.
I took that was genius. I took a little ad that had to be about that big, and I blew it up till it was the thing looked like a Gatling gun, and it falls
Seriously, I was
down.
scared of him.
Why don't you go stand up on a stage somewhere and see how funny people think you are?
I'm thinking-
It's not funny. I mean, I haven't
Maybe I'll
laughed
try
yet.
it.
I don't know, maybe you should focus more on your job, you know? I don't
Okay,
know
well,
where
I
you have the
That's not
time
my job.
to do
My job's
this.
fine. I don't take it as seriously as you take your job.
I have to take it seriously.
Why,
I used to be
why
a
do you-
secretary, you know?
One second. Why do you so aggressively pursue putting her in a position where you can do your jokes?
Because she got this promotion and she's on a high horse now. So I figure I could take her down a few pegs.
And how would you do that? Why don't you just punch her? That would have been better.
Well, I'm
on
not
my-
a violent person.
No,
I
you know, but your
just
jokes are
trying to
violent.
be funny. That's
your jokes
all.
are violent because they're not funny.
Well, she has to be brought down a little bit. I mean, I work in sales. I don't take it too seriously, and maybe you should. You should lighten up.
He thinks I
Explain-
changed. He's like
explain
demented.
to
You
me.
have changed.
How has
You
she changed?
changed.
when I
You're
got
just
into
crazy. He's crazy.
How has she changed?
Well, look, first of all, when I
Funny
got into
man.
the relationship, I didn't want to date a feminist or a career woman.
God.
I just wanted somebody
You
that
don't
I
even
could
know
have
what
fun with. We
feminist
used to have-
is.
Let's hear. Okay, you didn't want to date a feminist, which is somebody who got a promotion and becomes a feminist. I don't
Right.
understand that.
Well, she's just, I don't know.
She's
The
what?
attitude she has, she's just so stern.
Trying
She
to
just
do
doesn't-
well in her job.
Well-
Trying to move ahead.
Yeah.
Somebody
okay.
has to be making the money.
That must.
Yeah, oh yeah, and ever since you're making more money, so I'm not funny now?
Well,
You make more
know,
money
now,
than me?
Wait a minute. You're not funny anyway. But now, in his defense, if you're going to throw the money thing in his face, that's not fair either.
Well, it's
Right.
true.
So,
Yeah, that wasn't funny.
Well, if you focus more on your own work, maybe.
I do focus
wouldn't
on
be
my work.
having
I have
this
plenty of
problem.
time to, joke
do you
around.
have, Lauren? Do you have a problem with the fact that she makes more money and doesn't have a problem bringing it up when she's in a situation where she feels threatened?
She does bring it up whenever she feels threatened. Like,
It sounds like it.
I make more money than you do.
And it bothers you, right?
Yeah, it bothers me.
Okay, so you tell me what remedy you can have other than your funny jokes to let her know that it bothers you.
I suppose we could talk it out.
Hey!
Wow, that's
Talk
a good
about it.
one, Lauren.
I'm not good
That's
at that
the
kind of thing. I'm
funniest
not good
one
at-
yet.
Okay, well, you know what? You better get good. Because if you think about the effort it took to put plastic over the toilet seats, it takes a lot less effort to just talk to her. Little
I
tip.
think she should lighten. I just think she should lighten up.
That's all he says. I think she should lighten up. I think she should lighten up.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't mean
chill
anything.
out.
I can't chill out.
Do you,
I have to take this job
understand though that
seriously.
it hurts his feelings when you say I make
Yeah.
more money than you? I mean,
Yeah, I
do
do.
you understand that? So what are you gonna do about it so he doesn't
Well,
have to hear
I
it?
won't bring it up anymore.
It's bigger than that. Be back with my resolution. Laugh at that. A joke is only a joke if people laugh. Jody, you say you were humiliated by Lauren's jokes, and I understand. I think most people in the same situation would have felt the same way. And you moved up, and that's great. Congratulations. But you have to be sensitive to other people around you that love you when you are elevated to another position. And in this case, I don't think you were sensitive to Lauren's feelings at all. He felt left behind, and you would have found that out if you'd have taken the time to talk to him. The other thing that I want you to realize is that even though you were humiliated by his jokes, you sent a double message sometimes and laughed at them in other scenarios. So he really didn't know where the line was drawn. You know, you, Lauren, on the other hand, you tried to use your jokes as a way to sabotage her career. And that was wrong. They were malicious and they really weren't very funny. You know, in a relationship, both of you have a responsibility to nurture the other person and try your best to make the other person feel secure. Now, we all know that security comes from within, but if the other person isn't trying to add that to make you feel better, then it's a moot point. Both people end up in the situation where both of you are right now, not really knowing what's going on, when you could have really solved this yourselves if you just talked to each other. What I would encourage both of you to do, you have a long relationship and probably a long one ahead of you, but you need to communicate. You need to talk to each other. You need to make sure that both of you feel secure, because you'd be surprised if he knows, Lauren knows that he's your number one, and you know that she's your number one. The two of you will look together and you'll laugh together, and that's the funniest joke there is, when both of you can laugh together at the same thing. Try it. Now that's funny. That's the final word.
Well, there it is. The relationship punchline from the lady who tells it like it is, Angela Segal. Join us next time here at Singles Court. The final word for singles.